How's it going, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm just parking here right now to the gym and getting in to get my workout down. I can't start the day without some sort of physical activity, but what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna talk to you about my ownership of the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, which I've owned now for I don't know how long, but I know I've driven it for 2,400 miles. So I want to talk to you about the experience of owning it, and also the two things that are, I wouldn't say annoying, but they're a little bit bothering when I notice them. And it's two weird things that maybe you can help me fix or something like that. Other than that, I just want to talk about the experience of owning the car and also comparing it to this long range, which I get a lot of questions about, whether the Standard Range Plus is actually enough when it comes to power and range. So let's cover that a little bit as well in this video. But first, let's go into the gym and get the workout done. I'll see you in 40 minutes, but for you, it's gonna be a second. All right, workout is done and I feel absolutely fantastic. That's one of the things I want to mention, by the way. If you feel, tired, your mind is foggy, you don't have any energy or motivation, go do a serious workout. Go lift some weights. I wouldn't recommend walking because it's not hard enough. It doesn't get your pulse pumping enough. But once you do that, I can almost guarantee you that the energy and the mood is going to be a lot better than before the workout. Even though you feel like you really don't want to do it, just go and get it done. I do it every single day, some sort of physical activity, and for me it's crucial to do it because I know how I feel if I don't do it. Anyway, let's talk about the Tesla Model 3 here, which is the topic of today's video. Is two things that I want to show you later on when I just find some quiet, nice little spot where I can show you these two issues. If I want to find something that I'm bothered with, these two things are going to be those things. But I want to talk about the Standard Range Plus after 2,500 miles here, and what I think about it. If I were to do this all over again, if I was to buy a Tesla, should I still go with the Standard Range Plus? Or would I go with the $10,000, add $10,000 for the long range? The performance is about 54, I believe, and the Standard Range Plus is about 38. So something about that, so something $15,000 more. Would I do the same thing today? Would I buy the Standard Range Plus? And the answer to that is yes. And the reason for that is it suits my needs. For example, if I were to go with the long range, what I know the difference in performance is that the takeoff from zero is you get more of a punch and you get that pulling feel almost instantly from zero. With the Standard Range Plus, 0 to 60 in about 5.1, 5.2 seconds, something like that. The only difference that you feel is in the initial push. After that, they are very similar in feel when you roll from like 20 to 50 miles per hour or something like that. It feels very similar to dual motor long range, and the reason for that is, of course, you have the dual motor to push, give that extra torque from the get-go, which in the Standard Range Plus only have the rear wheel drive motor, which you don't really get the same amount of torque. Obviously, this is just science. But yes, I would pick the Standard Range Plus for a second time, and I wouldn't do anything differently. What I would probably do in the future is possibly upgrade or trade this in for a performance, just because it's the top of the range model and it would be cool to have the extra miles for that. So the miles and the range is another thing I want to talk about. For me, the way I use the car, I use it almost every day to either go to the beach to run or to just chill, or go to the gym, or go to do a car review or something like that. But all of these destinations that I go to are pretty local. I never use more than 50% of the range per day, ever. And this is the base model, the Standard Range Plus, which I think has, I'm not sure about the range, 250, something like that, which is the official, which is not exactly correct, which I showed you in a separate video, which you can go and check out. But I only go to local places, and if I need to supercharge, I supercharge it. But usually I just plug it in the garage, 110 volts, leave it in there when I don't use the car, and that's it. And I never have a range issue. Now, when we go to, for example, the other side of Florida to, like we did, deliver a cat adopted by a family on the other side of Florida, so we went over there, I really don't mind stopping for 20 minutes to charge. It's not a big deal. I mean, I enjoy the weather. I'm not ever stressed ever about getting somewhere quickly. we can stop and relax, have something to drink and something to eat, and in the meantime we plug the car into a supercharger for 20-25 minutes. When we come back, we have more than enough range to continue our journey, and we do the same thing if we need to do that again. That's totally fine. So for me personally, I would still choose the Standard Range Plus in terms of cost, in terms of performance, and in terms of range, and that's totally up to you. I know some people want the long range because of the sound system. That's not really an issue for me as well. I rarely listen to music. I most of the time just listen to podcasts, which doesn't really require the same kind of audio quality, at least not in my opinion. It doesn't require anything better than what's available in the Standard Range Plus, at least not for me. I'm not really that picky when it comes to audio, but I totally get it. If you want the extra range and if you want the audio system, I think this long range would probably be the best choice, because you get the 360 something official range, I believe, and then you have the upgraded audio system. And if you look at drag races between the long range and the performance, it's very, very, very close. And sometimes the long range even outperforms the performance in specific segments of acceleration, for example 40 to 80 or something like that. Sometimes you see the long range pulling away from the performance, which is just amazing. So I think the long range, if you're looking for the best overall, if you're looking for the upgraded audio, and of course the maximized range, that would without a doubt be the long range. But if you're like me, if you work very local and you don't really commute more than 40 miles or so per day, and you still have a 110 charger available, you will be fine with a Standard Range Plus. And as I said, you always have the superchargers if you need to go and supercharge your Tesla. It takes 20 minutes, 25 minutes to fill it up to 90%. But now let's talk about the two tiny little issues, if you want to call them that. It's ridiculous just calling them that. Two things that I wish could be fixed, and maybe you could help me fix those. Maybe you've had those issues yourself. And the first thing started within maybe about 1,000 miles ago or something like that, and that is when I opened the door here. So let me show you. If you listen closely, you're gonna hear some cracking noises coming from over there. Listen. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's crack. It sounds like plastic on plastic or something like that. I know it's not this piece right here, because I know this can fail, and then that creates a very heavy, clunky noise. That's not what this sounds like. This sounds like something else. I don't know what it is. I know it's not supposed to be there, but that's the issue number one that I have. Issue number two is that when I drive on the highway, let's say 70, 75 miles per hour or something like that, I get this flapping noise from inside this wheel well right here. So when this is spinning in 70, 75 miles per hour or something like that, I get this wind noise, or there's something that's flapping in here. I think it's this part right here. It sounds exactly like this, and you can hear it from the inside. So when the wind picks up in here, I think this is too loose. It only comes from this side of the car. I'm not sure why it doesn't happen on the other side. I don't know if you had any of these problems, if you solve them, if you happen to even notice them. This happens very, very rarely, but sometimes it's like the wind situations needs to be the exact right ones for it to happen. It happened maybe a total of 8 to 10 times over the period I own the car. But that's pretty much all the issues, if you want to call them issues, that I've had with the car so far. It's not really a big deal. I thought I would have some of these Tesla problems that I've been hearing a lot of people have, but fortunately, so far everything's so good, and I haven't had any major issues that I need to take the car in for or anything like that. So I'm very happy with it, and that's kind of what I want to share with you today about the ownership of 2,500 miles with the Tesla Model 3 2021 model Standard Range Plus. I have the wheels ordered, they just haven't given me any updates, and I ordered it 8 days ago. Still no update on when they will arrive here, but hopefully soon. I'll of course keep you posted on that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.